Preparing current affairs is truly a Herculean job for many of the candidates preparing for the competitive exam. And the most important task related to this particular area is what are certain sources that must be consulted in order to prepare current affairs in an effective manner. You're watching our YouTube channel, and in today's video, we are going to talk about all the sources that you must consult when it comes to preparing the current affairs. Here they are. Okay, now let's talk about certain resources that you can look up on the YouTube. First among many is the Al Jazeera English, or there are many basically programs in that, and one is the Start here.
You've probably seen what's happened in the US Capitol. Here's a quick rundown to help you make sense of it all. Charge the Capitol! These are President Donald Trump's supporters storming the Capitol building. It's where the US Congress sits.
The other resource that you can look up is the Caspian Report. This also publishes weekly analysis on issues of the day. Let's have a look.
Rose so severely that Afghanistan briefly blocked Pakistan's admission into the United Nations. When Pakistan came into existence anyway, the Afghan government started supporting Pashtun secessionist groups in the newly independent Pakistan. At the time, Pakistan was quite vulnerable. Its territory was divided into two non-contiguous parts, while India laid claim to the Kashmir region.
The next is again from Al Jazeera English, and that is Head to Head. It is a program led by Mehdi Hassan. He is a very well articulated journalist. I would encourage you people to watch his more and more videos in order to develop deeper insights into issues of the day.
Double the number that was there just a decade ago. Depending on your perspective, these settlements are either a natural extension of the Israeli state or the single biggest obstacle to peace in the Middle East. Settlers believe all of Palestine is part of the Jewish homeland and justify their land grabs in the name of security.
The next is Head to Head. This is again, okay. The next is Upfront, and again, this is from Al Jazeera English. You can also watch that.
Tens of thousands protest across France against a new law that would restrict sharing images of the police.
The next is you can also look up to TRT World. This has again a very good analysis on issues of the day.
Just outside the House chamber, as you can see in this video. This is how election results are disputed in a banana republic, not our democratic republic.
Next is you can look up is Vox. This is again important for understanding issues in just a few minutes. And these are certain sources that can help you. With you can basically start preparing your current affairs, PAC affairs, and even international relations agenda studies with this particular source, which is most popular among many CSS and PMS candidates, and that is Pakistan's newspaper Dawn. The point is, अब इसमें आपने जो चीज़ें पढ़नी हैं वो ये हैं. नंबर 1, आपने इन ओपिनियन के जो आर्टिकल्स हैं इनको पढ़ना है, इक्विटेबल डिसीजंस, डिजिटल फाइनेंसिंग, डिबेटिंग ऑर्डिनेंस, और कोशिश करनी है कि वो आर्टिकल आपने ज़्यादा कंसंट्रेशन के साथ पढ़ लेने हैं जिनका आपके सिलेबस के साथ ताल्लुक है. Dawn is most popular among many candidates, and that is why it must be followed. Secondly, अखबार का बुनियादी मकसद होता है इशू को हाईलाइट करना, ना कि इशू के बारे में कोई डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस प्रोड्यूस करना. फॉर दैट you need to look up to the research papers, which I will be showing you in the rest of the discussion. The other source that you must be consulting is Al Jazeera. This is one of many important resources that, as far as must concern, specifically when it talks about many issues, you can directly go into this opinion and you would find the issues of the day being discussed, and that discussed in a very balanced analysis. Another most important and interesting, uh, another most important and interesting source is the diplomat. This is again important for developing a balanced analysis, critical analysis, and at the same time a deeper insight into issues of the day. To discuss more in context of Pakistan, I would particularly advise candidates to read this particular magazine, Hilal. This is published by ISPR in Pakistan, and this has exactly the topics that you can actually look up to. This has exactly the topics which often appear in your competitive exams papers and are part of your broader syllabus. So let's say we have a few important issues before you actually go for this attempt. Hybrid warfare in Pakistan's national security. You have a detailed discourse here. Indian Chronicles, Indian art of maligning Pakistan and befooling the world. It is also here, and many other issues which are very important for the CSS candidates can be found here. And most importantly, the Pakistani perspective in those issues. That is why this source is very much important and hence you must consult. Next is Center for Economic Research in Pakistan. This is important for all those candidates who have been working on the economic issues but are seldom able to attain a very reasonable analysis of the issues. This would particularly help you regarding that. The other resource is Sustainable Development Policy Institute. It has again the issues of the day, of the nature of the current affairs, and you can actually look into many things. The next is, and the most important is, particularly relevant for international relations, current affairs, Pakistan affairs, and including general studies. Is the Institute of Strategic Studies in Islamabad. It is one of many sources that I would particularly emphasize that you must go through that. अब इसमें जो चीज़ें हैं वो आपके लिए दो तरह की हैं इन ऐसी पब्लिकेशंस यू वुड फाइंड इशू ब्रीफ्स जो कि किसी भी जो बहुत ही रिसेंट इशू होता है उसके ऊपर कोई 2 से 3 पेजेस का एनालिसिस होते हैं उसके बाद कुछ इसके होते हैं जैसे रिसर्च पेपर्स पब्लिश होते हैं वो है इसका जर्नल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजिक स्टडीज जर्नल वो भी आपको यहाँ पे नज़र आएगा ये भी आपने लाजमी पढ़ लेना है इसके हर 3 महीने बाद कोई 6 से 7 मेजर टॉपिक्स के ऊपर रिसर्च पेपर्स पब्लिश होते हैं दे आर ऑफ utmost importance to you. Let's analyze जैसे for example the important issue is internet, artificial intelligence and quantum technologies. What do they mean for national security? We have Indian Chronicles and eye opener for the world community, and then there is a UN report on the inequality in a rapidly changing world. You can discuss that. Then other is Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies. This is very important for actually looking things into a broader context wherever you find that there is an issue that needs to be understood in its broader manner. Next is okay. Next is Institute for Regional Studies, Islamabad. It has again the topics which are of the interest of the CSS fraternity, CSS people, and then the economics and other major source that you must be consulting is Pakistan Institute of Development Economics. This is again designed for the topics which are as such: defense, peace, security, environment, food, agriculture, private sector development, social policy, economics, and finance. The next is Center for Strategic and International Studies. You can have a look at the topics that are basically discussed in this particular research, the think tank, and these are again equally important. And next is Pakistan House. This is again an independent think tank for the international affairs related to Pakistan. आप इन तमाम तर वेबसाइट्स में से जहाँ से थिंक टैंक्स में से जहाँ से आपको इश्यूज रेलिवेंट टू योर सिलेबस लगे आपने उनको फॉलो करना है और दीगर चीज़ों को आपने स्किप कर लेना है। लेट्स एनालाइज दिस। इसमें आपको मुख्तलिफ कैटेगरीज आइडेंटिफाई करके दी गई हैं। अफगानिस्तान, क्लाइमेट चेंज, कोरोना वायरस, सी पैक, इकॉनमी, फॉरेन पॉलिसी, कश्मीर, मिडल ईस्ट, नेशनल सिक्योरिटी। अब ये वो तमाम तर इश्यूज हैं जो कि आप देखेंगे कि आपके सिलेबस का भी हिस्सा है, आपके ऐसे के लिए भी इम्पॉर्टेंट है, आपकी करंट और पाकिस्तान अफेयर्स के लिए भी इक्वली इम्पॉर्टेंट है। So these are the certain sources that can actually help you a lot in looking up to certain issues of the day. It's not necessary to look into just one source. It is very important to look into many sources so that you can come up with the better understanding of the issue, because what you do in exam room depends largely on what you do when you're not in exam room. Thank you so much.